American trucks are known for their unbeatable power and jaw-dropping performance on the road. Watch to find out the 12 most powerful pickup trucks ever built. Number 12, 1946 Dodge Power Wagon. The Dodge Power Wagon is a classic example of a powerful pickup truck. It first hit the roads in 1946, just after World War II ended. Originally, it was designed as a military vehicle to carry heavy loads across rough terrain. But when the war ended, Dodge introduced a civilian version, and that's when the Power Wagon began making its name as a workhorse truck. For its time, the Power Wagon was an incredibly strong vehicle. Depending on the model, it could carry a gross weight between 7,600 and 8,700 pounds. This was a big deal back in the 1940s and 50s. The truck could handle tough jobs like towing a 3-bottom 14-inch plow, and it even had an optional hydraulic lift for extra work. Over the years, the Power Wagon came with different engines. It was powered by a 230 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine in 1947. But as the years went by, it got more powerful. Dodge revived the Power Wagon in the 2000s, and today's models are even stronger. The modern Power Wagon has a 390 cubic inch V8 engine with 410 horsepower. This newer version can tow over 10,000 pounds when properly equipped. The Dodge Power Wagon wasn't just powerful, though. It was also the first ever 4-wheel drive truck from a major manufacturer. Its military roots made it a great fit for work, and it was also marketed in other countries under different names like DeSoto and Fargo. By 1981, the Dodge Ram replaced the Power Wagon, but it left a lasting legacy. The Power Wagon set the stage for the tough, powerful pickups we drive today. Number 11, 1969 Chevrolet C20 Longhorn. The Chevy C20 Longhorn is a powerful pickup truck, especially regarding its engine and overall performance. The truck has a 350 cubic inch V8 engine, making it a solid powerhouse. It has great features like an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor, alternator, fuel pump, and hoses, all working together to keep the engine running strong. To enhance the driving experience, you can add features like power steering, power brakes, and front disc brakes, which help the driver easily handle the truck. In terms of power, the C20 Longhorn's engine could produce 255 horsepower by 1969. The truck kept the same horsepower into 1971, which was decent for the time. It wasn't the fastest on the road, but it had good speed and performance for a truck built to work. Regarding transmissions, the C20 Longhorn offered 3-speed and 4-speed manual transmissions and 2-speed and 3-speed automatic transmissions, giving drivers flexibility in how they wanted to drive. The truck's suspension also added to its strength. It had a spring suspension design on the 2-wheel drive models, while 4-wheel drive models used leaf springs at all 4 corners. In 1971, Chevrolet added disc brakes to the C20 Longhorn, which made the truck easier to drive and a great option for modern upgrades. The C20 Longhorn was a great all-around hauler, especially with its long wheelbase and 8.5-foot bed. These features made it ideal for carrying large loads or converting it into a camper. Overall, the C20 Longhorn was a reliable and powerful truck that could handle much work while offering decent performance. Loving the power behind these trucks? Hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all things automotive power and performance. Number 10, 1978 Dodge Midnight Express. The Dodge Midnight Express is one of the rarest and most powerful trucks of its time. It was a special version of the 1978 Dodge Lil Red Express, but it wasn't made by Dodge directly. Instead, it was a special option offered at dealerships, and only about 200 of them were ever made. This truck stood out with its bold exhaust stacks and gold striping, giving it a unique look. Regarding power, the Midnight Express was stronger than its sibling, the Lil Red Express. While the Lil Red Express came with a 360 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 225 horsepower, the Midnight Express was upgraded with a 440 cubic inch V8 engine. This engine made 245 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful pickup trucks of the 70s. The same engine was used in the Dodge Warlocks from that time and could reach up to 255 horsepower. The Midnight Express, Warlock, and Lil Red Express had similar speeds when considering the weight differences. Although exact towing and hauling figures are hard to find, the Lil Red Express had a gross vehicle weight rating, GVR, of 6,100 pounds, And the Warlocks were similar, so it's safe to assume the Midnight Express could handle similar loads. Even though original Midnight Express trucks are rare, some truck enthusiasts have rebuilt their Lil Red Express trucks to look like the Midnight Express. While the Midnight Express was mostly just a Lil Red Express with a souped-up engine and special decals, the originals are so rare that finding one is a big deal for collectors. In short, the Dodge Midnight Express is a powerful, limited edition truck that stands out for its performance and rarity. Number 9, 1985 Ford F-250. The 1985 Ford F-250 is a powerful pickup truck from when trucks faced new challenges due to tougher emissions rules. The 1980s could have been better for powerful engines, as the same regulations that affected muscle cars also reduced the power of many trucks. Still, the Ford F-250 stood out as one of the most powerful trucks of the decade. Ford was redesigning its F-150 to make it more of an all-around truck, which made it popular but also less powerful, maxing out at the 210 horsepower and 305 pound-feet of torque. But the F-250 was the way to go if you wanted more power. It came with a 7.5-liter, 460 cubic inch V8 engine, which produced 225 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. This made it more powerful than the F-150, with a stronger engine for tougher jobs. One of the standout features of the 1985 F-250 was its towing ability. The 458 cubic inches V8 engine and a 4.10 rear axle ratio gave it a gross combination weight rating, GCWR, of up to 16,000 pounds. That's impressive for a truck in the 1980s, making it a solid choice for people who needed to haul heavy loads. Even though trucks from the 80s are often called underpowered compared to today's standards, the Ford F-250 was still a reliable workhorse. It proved that, even in an era of lower horsepower, people could still rely on powerful trucks like the F-250 to do the job. Today, thanks to improved technology, trucks are not only more powerful, but also more fuel efficient and cleaner for the environment. Number 8, 1991 to 1993 GMC Cyclone. The 1991 to 1993 GMC Cyclone is a pickup truck that was powerful in a very unexpected way. It wasn't about towing heavy loads or hauling big payloads. This truck was all about speed. While it only had a payload capacity of 500 pounds and could tow up to 2,000 pounds, it had a 262 cubic inches turbocharged V6 engine that packed 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. And despite its truck appearance, it used an all-wheel drive system originally from the Chevy Astrovan. Yes, really. You'd expect a big, heavy hauler with those specs, but the Cyclone was built for something very different: street racing. This truck was incredibly fast for its time, beating out some supercars and drag races. In one famous race, it beat a $122,000 Ferrari 348 Ts in a quarter-mile race. The Cyclone could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.3 seconds, which is still fast by today's standards. It was one of the fastest vehicles of its time and even held the title of the world's fastest pickup truck for a while. Although the Cyclone carried the GMC name, it wasn't entirely made by GMC. Production Automotive Services, PIS, designed and developed the truck, similar to how Shelby worked with the Ford on the Mustang. The Cyclone was produced briefly. Only a few were sold, making it a rare collector's item today. In short, the GMC Cyclone wasn't your traditional powerful pickup. It didn't haul big loads, but it was a powerhouse on the road, offering incredible speed and performance, making it stand out as one of the most unique pickups ever made. Number 7, 1978 Dodge Lil Red Express. The 1978 Dodge Lil Red Express is one of the most powerful pickup trucks of its time. During the 1970s, American automakers struggled with the oil crisis and new regulations on fuel economy and emissions. Muscle cars were being phased out, and it seemed like the days of powerful vehicles were over. But Dodge found a way to create an absolute powerhouse truck. The Lil Red Express was fitted with a 5.9-liter, 360 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 225 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. At the time, most trucks, like the Ford F-Series and Chevrolet CK, didn't exceed 170 horsepower. This made the Lil Red Express much more powerful than its competitors. Thanks to its strong engine, the Lil Red Express could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.7 seconds, faster than many of the American sports cars. It held the record for the fastest American-made production vehicle for 0 to 100 miles per hour acceleration, beating even the Corvette with a time of 19.9 seconds. The truck had a bold, attention-grabbing look, finished in bright red with gold decals on the doors and tailgate. It also had tall, chrome exhaust stacks, making it look like a factory hot rod. These were functional too, adding to its powerful image. What made this truck even more special was a regulatory loophole. Trucks like the Lil Red Express were exempt from the strict emissions regulations that affected cars, allowing Dodge to pack more power into the engine. This made the Lil Red Express the first true muscle pickup. Dodge only made this truck for 2 years, producing just 7,306 units, making it a rare and iconic vehicle today. Number 6, 1990 Chevrolet 454 SS. The 1990 Chevrolet 454 SS is a powerful pickup truck that made a big splash when it was released. It was based on the 4th-generation Chevrolet CK and became the first performance truck since the iconic 1978 Dodge Lil Red Express. It took Chevrolet 12 years to bring back a performance-focused truck, but the 454 SS certainly delivered on power. Under the hood, it was packed with a 450 cubic inch V8 engine, usually found in Chevrolet's larger 3500 series trucks. In 1990, the engine produced 230 horsepower, but by 1991, it was upgraded to 255 horsepower, making it even more powerful. This truck was quick, with a top speed and acceleration, making it a true performance machine. The 454 SS was designed for speed and handling. It featured an upgraded suspension with heavy-duty Bilstein shocks and a front stabilizer bar to keep it steady on the road. It also had quick ratio steering for better control and a heavy-duty radiator to keep the engine cool during high performance. In terms of style, the 454 SS was all about simplicity. The 1990 model came only in black with a red interior, which made it stand out without being overly flashy. In 1992 and 1993, it was available in additional colors, including red and white, with interior options like blue, beige, and gray. The truck's sleek design included chrome wheels and a blacked-out grille with a red bow tie emblem. The 454 SS was only available as a single-cab, short-bed truck without four-wheel drive, keeping it focused on performance. Though it wasn't a huge seller, with around 16,000 trucks produced, it remains a beloved collector's item for its raw power and unique design. Number 5, 1993 Ford SVT Lightning. The 1993 Ford SVT Lightning is one of those powerful trucks that made a mark on performance. Ford designed the Lightning to compete with the Chevrolet 454 SS, a big step for performance trucks. It was based on the Ford F-150, but this version was different. It was all about speed and power. Under the hood, the Lightning had a 354 cubic inches Windsor V8 engine, producing 240 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque. This engine gave it some serious muscle. The only transmission option was an automatic, making the driving experience smooth and easy. Ford added custom calibrated shocks, a limited slip differential, and front and rear anti-roll bars to ensure the truck could handle all that power. Plus, it had thicker frame rails than the F-250, which made it even tougher. The truck wasn't just powerful, it looked the part too. It had a sleek monochrome look with a single cab and a strong stance. Legendary racing driver Jackie Stewart helped fine-tune the Lightning to ensure it drove like a high-performance vehicle. Even though the 454 SS was no longer around when the Lightning came out, the Ford Lightning carried the torch for powerful trucks. Although the Lightning didn't sell in huge numbers, only moving 11,563 units before it was discontinued in 1995, it became an icon in the performance truck world. It was Ford's most powerful truck at the time, and even later in 1994, they introduced a 458 cubic inches V8 engine that delivered 245 horsepower for their heavy-duty trucks. What makes the Lightning even more exciting today is its upgrade. Some owners have swapped the original engine for Ford's Godzilla crate engine, a 7.3-liter V8 that makes 430 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. When supercharged, this engine can push the Lightning to an impressive 880 horsepower, making it an absolute beast on the road. Number 4, 1968 Ford F100. Back in time to 1968, when the Ford F100 had some serious power for a pickup truck. Ford was still in the middle of the muscle car era, and while pickups were mainly thought of as hard-working vehicles, automakers were beginning to add some muscle to them too. In 1967, Ford introduced a brand new F-Series truck and gave it a big upgrade in 1968. The F100 came with a 390 cubic inch V8 engine that cranked out the 250 horsepower. While this wasn't quite as powerful as the Ford Mustang or the Mercury Cougar from the same era, it was still a strong engine for a truck. And this engine had no extra packages or options, just solid power. One thing that made this truck stand out was its suspension system. The F100 came with a twin I-beam independent suspension in the front, which helped the truck handle rough conditions and last longer. The rear suspension, the Flex-O-Matic, automatically adjusts to the load to provide a smoother ride. These features were standard on the F100 and F250 models, making them better equipped for tough work or even off-road adventures. The F100 didn't have many flashy extras like custom paint jobs or trim, but some owners made it theirs. For example, this particular F100 was painted bright white to highlight the clean, classic lines of the body. The truck even had a fuel can mounted in front of the rear wheel, practical for extending travel range or powering equipment. While this truck might not have had all the flashy features of some sports cars, it packed a punch under the hood with its 250 horsepower. It was a workhorse with some muscle, designed to get the job done, and it still looks good doing it. Number 3, 1968 Chevrolet C10. Let's talk about the 1968 Chevrolet C10, a truck that packs a serious punch. While the Chevrolet CK series was known for its workhorse qualities, the C10 took up a notch with some muscle power under the hood. For starters, the C10 could be fitted with a powerful 396 cubic inch big block V8 engine that cranked out 325 horsepower and the 410 pound-feet of torque. This engine was the same one used in some of Chevrolet's most iconic muscle cars, including the Camaro, Chevelle, Nova, and even the Monte Carlo and El Camino. However, while the C10 wasn't as powerful as some high-horsepower cars in the Chevrolet lineup, it was still one tough truck. It could be used in either fleet-side or step-side models so that you can choose the best style. One highlight of the 1968 C10 was its frame-off restoration, which made it look as good as new. It came in a seafoam green color with a cream-colored roof, and the frame was powder-coated for extra durability. This upgraded model also featured a powerful LS7 engine, which produced 701 horsepower, four-wheel disc brakes, and modern tech like a Kenwood head unit with Apple CarPlay. It was a perfect mix of old-school muscle and new-age performance. Number 2, 1970 Ford Ranchero Cobra Jet. The 1970 Ford Ranchero Cobra Jet is a powerful, unique pickup truck that blends muscle car performance with truck utility. While the Ranchero may seem like a car with a bed, it's got the power to back up its looks. Ford introduced the Ranchero in 1957, quickly becoming known for packing serious V8 engines. However, Ford decided to take things further by the late 1960s when the muscle car wars were heating up. In the mid-1960s, the Ranchero was equipped with the 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8, which pushed out 360 horsepower. But Ford kicked things up a notch in the 70s by introducing the 429 cubic inch Cobra Jet engine. This engine produced 370 horsepower and an impressive 480 pound-feet of torque, making the Ranchero as powerful as the Ford Mustang and Fairlane of the same year, the 1970. Ranchero came in several models, from the base version to the muscle car-inspired Ranchero GT. All versions were built on a mid-size chassis, giving them a nice balance of power and utility. The Ranchero GT was the sportiest version, with features like a sport scoop hood, locking hood pins, and GT badges. It even had a tachometer and a 4-speed gearbox for more driving fun. It also had power front disc brakes and high-back bucket seats for comfort and performance. For those who wanted more luxury, The Ranchero Squire offered a smooth, upscale look with wood paneling, while the Ranchero 500 was a simpler yet still popular version. The 1970 Ford Ranchero Cobra Jet was a great mix of muscle car power and pickup truck practicality, making it a highly collectible and exciting vehicle. Whether for work or fun, this truck had the performance to impress. Number 1. 1970 Chevrolet El Camino SS 454 LS6. The 1970 Chevrolet El Camino SS 454 LS6 is one of the most powerful classic pickups ever made, and it was a direct rival to the Ford Ranchero. The El Camino first appeared in 1959 as a full-size vehicle based on the Brookwood station wagon, but was discontinued due to slow sales. Chevrolet revived the El Camino in 1964, this time on the Chevelle's midsize platform, and it quickly became a part of the muscle car scene. By 1970, Chevrolet offered the El Camino a choice of V8 engines. One of these was the 396 cubic inch big block engine, which was already very powerful, producing up to 375 horsepower. But the real game changer came with the LS6 engine, a massive 454 cubic inch V8. This engine delivered a jaw-dropping 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, making the El Camino one of the most powerful production vehicles of its time. What makes this version even more special is its rarity. In the 70s, Chevrolet only produced fewer than 500 El Camino SS 454 LS6 units, making it a sought-after classic. Its big block LS6 engine and muscle car performance made it a true powerhouse, proving that pickups could be just as powerful and thrilling as the best muscle cars of the era. Which powerful pickup truck would you choose for ultimate performance? Let us know in the comments below.